3 marketing skills you must have if you want to become rich in 2026. Now, here's something a lot of people don't want to hear. You can have the best service or product in the world, but if you don't know how to market it correctly, you're not going to make any money. Now, I know, you probably got into business because you love your craft, not because you want to become this, awesome marketer and this salesperson. But the reality is in 2026, in order for you to succeed, marketing is not an option anymore. It's mandatory. It's literally the difference between making 1 or 2 sales a month to tens of thousands of sales per month. The good news here though is that you don't need to be some marketing genius or expert or have a crazy massive campaign budget. The 3 skills I'm going to break down in this specific video with you are completely learnable, and they almost cost nothing for you to implement, and they're responsible for some of the biggest success stories in the industry you've probably heard of. So I personally use these skills that I'm going to break down in this video to go from a struggling business to a thriving business where hundreds and tens of thousands of strangers online who don't know me are giving me their credit card. So, and I've also watched countless of entrepreneurs who dabbled in these specific skills to be able to make their business just flourish and actually thrive. So if you're tired of being the best kept secret in your industry or watching other competitors just thriving and you're wondering why, then I want you to stick to the end of this video, because by the end of this, you're gonna have a clear roadmap of exactly what you need to do and a crazy marketing machine so that way you can win in 2026. All right, skill number 1, it's storytelling. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, oh, great, another person telling me to tell stories. Let me explain what I mean exactly here, because most people get storytelling wrong. They do it completely the opposite of how they should do it. They think storytelling means like random personal experiences that you share online or posting some inspirational quotes on Instagram or Facebook. That's not what I'm talking about. Real marketing storytelling is about taking your audience on a journey from their current problem to their desired solution with you as the guide. It's about making them the hero of their story, not your story. It's not about you. So let me give you an example here. There's this guy named Alex Hermosi who built a $100 million portfolio of different companies he's invested into and that he's scaled. When he started, he wasn't the most polished speaker. He didn't have fancy, crazy videos like he does now, but he understood one thing. His audience didn't care about his story. They cared about their own struggles, their own problems, their stories. So instead of talking about how great his gyms were, how he's been able to succeed, he told stories about gym owners who were working 80-hour weeks, barely breaking even, feeling trapped in their cycle in their business. He painted a picture of pain, their story, so vividly that people saw themselves in it. Then he showed them exactly how these gym owners transformed their businesses. You see the difference? He didn't talk about Hermosi. He talked about the people struggling that he was helping. He didn't say, look at me. He's saying, I see you, I understand your problem, and here's a proof that there's a way out for you. Here's what makes storytelling so powerful in 2026. People are drowning in information. There's just so much information out there, so much noise. Your potential customers see hundreds of ads every single day. They're numb to the features and the benefits and this copyright and this great hook. What breaks through all that noise? Emotion, connections, stories that make them feel understood. The structure is actually pretty simple. You want to follow what I call the before-after bridge framework. What I mean by that is, let's start with the before. What you're basically doing is you want to paint a picture of what their current struggle is, what they're going through right now. What does their day look like? What are they frustrated about? What are they having issues with? The after, you want to show the transformation. What does it look like when this problem is solved? How easy is life to have this solved? And the bridge, that's where your product and your service comes in. But here's the key. You're not the hero. You're the guide. You're the Yoda to the Luke Skywalker. When you master this skill, something magical happens. You stop feeling like you're selling and you start feeling like you're actually helping people, guiding them to their own victory, to their own story, being their own hero, because you are helping. You're showing people a path that they couldn't see before. And your audience, they stop seeing you just like another business guru or this marketer or this advertiser who's just there to take their money. They actually start seeing you as someone who completely and genuinely understands what they're going through and they want to have this solved. And that's the difference between just someone that's just advertising who can't break through the noise and someone that's actually going to win and make a lot of money helping a lot of people. Okay, skill number 2, and this one is going to make the biggest difference for your business and your bank account in 2026. You need to learn how to create content that actually commands control and captures attention. Now, before you roll your eyes and grow and go like, but I'm not doing this to do content. I don't want to record myself, I'm not a content creator. And I get it, but here's the thing. Content is king. Content is what captures eyeballs. It's how people discover you, know you, and trust you, and like you, and get better understanding what it is that you do, and hopefully know that you're solving their problem. It's content. If you're not creating content in 2026, you become obsolete. really, no one's going to know you. You're gonna blend in and be invisible. So here's what most people get wrong about creating content, right? Content that actually goes nowhere and content that actually goes somewhere. They create ones that are completely boring, it's generic, and it doesn't really solve a problem or appeal to a specific audience. It actually just appeals to everyone. Your goal is not to appeal to everyone, it's to appeal to a specific type of problem or people that you're trying to help. Let me give you an example. There's a woman named Alex Cooper. Maybe you've heard of her. Her podcast is called Call Her Daddy. Now, you might not be in her industry, but the lessons you're gonna learn as I share are completely universal that you can apply to this specific skill. So when Alex started out her podcast, her space was already crowded. There were thousands of podcasts, but she did something different. She didn't try to be professional, polished, or appeal to everyone. She was just being herself, her authentic self. She talked about topics that nobody else was talking about openly. She was raw, real, and really just cool, down to earth, and that gave people a sense of vibe that the right audience came listening, and she was able to build a business from that. People told her, when she was going through it, that she needed to tone it down. She needed to be more brand friendly, but she ignored all these advice and just kept to being her authentic self. And you know what happened? That she just kept being her authentic self. She was able to build one of the biggest podcasts in the world and sign a deal over $60 million with a big radio company. So the lesson, you don't create content for everyone. You don't need to listen to everyone. You create content for someone specific where you're being your authentic self, where you're creating content to solve that specific problem or who it is that you truly want to help. Here's a formula that works in 2026. First, you want to pick a specific audience, not just appeal to everyone or small business owners. You want to get laser focused. So let's just say, for example, freelance graphic designers who are tired of cheap clients or real estate agents in their first year who don't get listings at all. Second, you then want to hook them in with the first 3 seconds. Literally, the first sentence of your post, the first 3 seconds of your video makes all the difference whether you're going to capture attention or you're going to lose attention. So you want to start off with something that wants to make them stop scrolling. A bold statement, a surprising fact, a question that hits their pain point. Go watch my intro again because that probably hooked you, right? Because I did the exact same thing in my intro. And then third, you want to deliver actual value, not fluff, not some motivational thing for the sake of motivation. You want to give them something that they can actually implement and use today as soon as they finish your video. A specific tip, mini framework, a mistake to avoid, whatever it is, some value they can take away. Fourth, you just want to be yourself, okay? Like I'm being myself right now. Your personality is that unfair advantage to getting people to actually want to vibe with you and then listen and absorb your content and ultimately do business with you. So you can be only you. Nobody else can be you. So let your personality shine through, use your sense of humor, share your opinions, just be human, be real, don't be AI, wink. And here's the thing about content in 2026. You don't need to be everywhere. You don't need to be on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, X, or YouTube, whatever it is, right? You just want to pick just one platform where you believe your ideal customers are hanging out that you can actually speak to and create content so you can get discovered. And the best part is all you need to do is just repeat this consistently, nothing fancy, nothing different, creating content, solving a problem, and helping people, providing value, consistently beats perfection every single time. I'd rather see you post 3 decent pieces of content every week for a year than post one perfect, here in hindsight, there's no perfect piece of content. One perfect piece of content and then disappear for a month. Because here's what happens when you show up consistently with valuable content. You build trust. And trust is one of the most underrated, overly saturated thing that anyone can build right now in this current space, in this current market, especially for business. And when people trust you, well, we understand people trust you. They will do business with you. They will buy from you. It's that simple. And we're at our last skill here. This is a secret weapon that separates a first-time entrepreneurs who waste their time getting into business that go nowhere from entrepreneurs that actually win every single month. And that's customer psychology. Specifically, why people actually buy, why people make a decision, why people decide not to buy. Most people think customers buy because they need something. Wrong. People buy because of how they think it will make them feel, how it makes them feel. They buy the transformation, the dream outcome, not the transaction. So let me break this down for you, okay? So with a real life example, so that way it actually clicks and you can understand. Think about Apple, one of my favorite companies. When you buy an iPhone, for example, you're not just buying a phone. You could get a phone with similar specs that's much cheaper, that can do the same functions as an iPhone, but you just decide to still buy an iPhone. So why? Why do people line up, and spend so much money on this premium phone for Apple products? Because Apple understands customer psychology. They're not selling features, they're selling status and identity. When you buy an Apple product, you're buying into the idea that you're someone creative, someone sophisticated, someone who appreciates quality quality and design, someone premium. You're buying the feeling of what it is to be something premium. Steve Jobs was a master at this, customer psychology. He didn't focus his marketing on gigabytes or hertz or this code and that code and how this is going to change your life tech-wise. He focused on what he called think different. He focused on how their products, Apple products, would make you feel on what they did if you were to consume them, and more importantly, who you would be as a person owning an iPhone or any Apple product. Now you might be thinking, okay, but I'm not Apple, Jaden. Okay, I'm not an Apple company. I'm just like a startup, or I'm just a small-time business owner, right? So how does this apply to your business? Great question. Here's how. Every person who buys from you, they're trying to solve a problem. They're trying to enhance their identity. They're trying to associate your product with their status of how it's going to change your life. But underneath all that surface level need, there's an emotional driver, and that's their status. Your job is to figure out what that status is, what that emotional need is. So let's just say you're a fitness coach. On the surface, people want to lose weight, but that's not really it. Under the surface, they want to feel confident. They want you to give them confidence about who they are. They want to feel attractive, right? They want to have the energy to play with their kids. They want to prove to themselves that they're capable of change. That's what they're actually buying underneath the surface. So when you understand this, your marketing becomes 10 times more effective because you're speaking to what people actually want, not what they need. So here are the big emotional drivers that make people buy. One is fear. Fear of missing out. We know this as FOMO, right? Staying stuck. Fear of being left behind. This is one of the most powerful ways to be able to get someone to buy, but you want to use it ethically, okay? Ethically. You don't want to manipulate. You actually want to help people see the consequences of their inaction not to do this right now. Second is desire. The desire to be seen, the desire to be successful, the desire to feel successful, feel confident, to be respected, to be loved. This is all status driven, right? People want to become a better version of themselves and have their peers and people around them view them as confident, strong, reliable, and successful. Third is pain. Current pain that they're currently experiencing. This is immediate and urgent. They need to stop this if they want to stop experiencing the pain, so they need to solve this, right? So what do? You have a solution, you help them solve this, and they'll pay to stop having this pain. Next one is aspiration. Who do they want to become? What lifestyle do they dream about? So you see, within those four, the businesses that win in 2026 are the ones that tap into these emotions authentically. They understand that people make decisions emotionally and then just justify them logically. So your job is to connect with the emotion first and then give them logical reasons after to feel good about their decision. So here's a simple exercise that I want to share with you. Ask yourself, what do my customers really want? And then ask yourself, why? 5 times. Say that. What do my customers really want? And why? Keep digging until you get to the emotional core driver. And that's what you should be marketing to. And that's what you create content around. All right, so now you've got the 3 marketing skills that will make you rich in 2026. But here's what most people do in reality. They just drop the ball. They don't actually implement anything. Maybe that might be you, and I don't want that to be you. Maybe you're just gonna watch this video and think that's great, I'm gonna try this, and then you just fall off and never do it again, and you're not consistent, because consistency is what's key in anything in business. Don't be that person. Actually, I don't want you to be that person. So I actually want to share with you 3 super simple things and steps to be able to actually help you adjust slowly and work it into your actual daily routine. Step 1, what you can try to do is just write down one story using the before-after bridge framework, and it can just be about a customer or yourself. Just practice the structure, then post it somewhere on social media, email, or wherever your audience is. Step 2, create one piece of content just this week or next week, but just do 1. Not 2, not 3, keep it super simple, don't overthink it. Your content should hook attention within the first 3 seconds, so whether it's with the first sentence, the line, or the first 3 seconds of the video, but deliver one specific valuable insight. And step 3, interview or survey some of your actual ideal customers. Ask them, what's your biggest problem today? What's your biggest frustration? What would your life look like if this was to be solved? You want to listen for the emotional language they use and write it down. It's completely gold. It's gonna make all the difference. You do these 3 things and you actually watch you become better as an individual, but actually being able to break through the noise where you don't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars on ads just to get attention or be discovered. So here's the bottom line. In 2026, the entrepreneurs who win are the ones that actually communicate effectively and be consistent about it. You can have an average product with great marketing and you still be able to build a successful $1 million business. But you can't have an amazing product with terrible marketing that doesn't reach anyone, because no one's gonna buy if you can't market it correctly. So these 3 skills, storytelling, creating content, and actually understanding customer psychology, they're not just nice to have, they're mandatory. It's what you need to be able to armor yourself in 2026 and actually win. They're what's going to determine whether you struggle for the next few months making 1 to 2 sales or succeed making tens of thousands of sales in the next 3 to 6 months. The best part, you don't need a degree in marketing. You don't need years of practice. You just need today, this video, practicing, implementing, and just do it. Every story you tell, every piece of content you're about to create, understanding customer psychology is going to make you miles ahead of anyone in 2026 who don't actually practice or implement this in their business moving forward. Now, if you're serious about your business, your results, and your success, then I want you to subscribe to my channel because I'm going to continue to give you real practical advices that you can use in any industry that you choose to be able to build a successful business week after week. So with that being said, let's win together. And I want you to actually watch this video right now because I'm sure it's also going to help you grow much faster.